Alright, so moving ahead. Now I think you should be able to get this in no time. In next 2 minutes we should be able to do this. Why does stock market exist? Why? Read the third line. To provide liquidity in the market. Liquidity means what? Easy buying and selling. For those who don't know what is the word meaning of liquidity, liquidity is easily buying and selling. That should be possible. Okay, so that is good liquidity in the stock market. Then the next question comes up is, okay, why stock market exists? I understood. So I think going back to our first example, the pizza example, she wanted to buy the stock. In the classroom I told she has it, but in real life how will they come to know each other? Through the stock market, because she will place the buy order on the stock market. She will place the sell order on the stock market. Buyer sellers meet, and finally the trade will take place. Simple. Okay. Now this is why does the stock market exist? But the follow-up question is, why do we have to invest in stocks? I guess we have already discussed this in the first lecture, first part. To beat inflation. Haven't we said that? Yes, to generate better returns. That is why we invest in stock markets. In the next slide, we are going to discuss a table which has 4 asset classes listed. I know there are much more asset classes. This is just an example. Okay. We are talking about gold, fixed deposit, real estate, that is property, and equities. Okay. And this is not a research that I have done. I have also written the source. You can see right hand side of the table, maybe Bloomberg Quint. Okay. So if the data is right, you can applaud for them. If it is wrong, tell them to me. Okay. Because many people are going to have a question about property. I'll explain what is the logic behind that as well. Now what we have done, we are going to have a look at this table starting with year 99 till 2021 YTD year to date, till that day that this table was made, till that day. That is YTD year to date. If you see which asset class has performed the best, I want an answer from everyone. Which asset class has performed the best in 2006? 2006 equity, correct? 2016 gold. Okay, so on the screen you can see the color version of that. Yellow stands for best returns, highest returns, and brown stands for lowest returns. Throughout or for that particular year? For that particular year, from Jan to December, let us say, for that particular year. Okay, so if you count the yellows, how many years did equity perform? Highest. That count comes to 10, which you have in your notes as well. Equity has outperformed asset classes, other asset classes 10 times. Gold has outperformed 7 times. FD has outperformed 5 times, but property 0. Okay, even when I had a look at this table for the very first time, I was like, थोड़ा मुश्किल लग रहा है. But apparently it is something like this, that it has performed over a period of 4-5 years, but not in one single year. Correct? We are talking about 1 year returns here. So can I say majority of the times which asset class has outperformed other asset classes? Equity. So if I know about an asset class which is giving me better returns, can I try investing in that asset class at least? Yes. So tell me why invest in stock market? Because it has the potential to give me higher returns. Simple. Okay. Can we move on? So we did discuss this point. Number 1, to beat inflation. How much is inflation in India right now? Somewhere around 5 to 6% government figures they keep on publishing. We always believe it is around 20%. Because of the rising petrol prices and rising vegetable prices, but government feels it's 5 to 6% only. There are certain calculation formula as well. Okay, based on that it's 5 to 6%. Second one is to reap the benefits of compounding. Okay. Now what is this compounding? In simple words, compounding is that you invest, and whatever returns you get, are you going to withdraw? No, you'll reinvest that. That is compounding. What, 3rd, 4th standard mathematics maybe. I have 100 rupees. Scenario A, scenario B. I invest 100 rupees. I get 10 rupees return. Scenario 1, I withdraw those 10 rupees and spend it. Scenario B, I reinvest that 10 rupees. Where will I get simple interest? First one. Where will I get compounding interest? Second scenario. In stock market, even if you are investing, let's say you're getting dividend, are you going to withdraw that dividend? Okay. Are you going to withdraw that dividend? You don't have any choice. That gets credited to your bank account. Okay. That will get credited to your bank account, but theoretically, you reinvest the very same moment. That's where compounding comes in. Okay. You get the dividend, don't spend it, reinvest again in that stock. Okay. Number 1. Number 2, let us say you buy the stock after 3-4 years, you're selling it. But again, same time you're reinvesting it in some other stock, let us say. That is where you'll get the benefit of compounding. Okay. So returns getting reinvested and giving higher returns. Okay. So we do have some examples as well. Alright. Okay. Here I've given is it there in the notes as well, right? So assume that you're setting aside 5,000 rupees from the age of 25. Okay. And you're earning, rather than interest, I can say, you can replace this word with earning a return of. Earning a return of how much? 12%. Because immediately you're going to ask me, which bank gives 12%? Where can we get 12% on an average for, let us say, 10 years or more? You remember index fund? I showed you that mutual fund index, ICICI potential index fund. Index fund means you're investing in index. It was a Nifty index fund. So we are investing in top 50 companies. And there I showed you a return of more than 12%. So we are saying assume only 12%. Okay. For how many years? For how many years? From the age of 25 till the age of 60. Till the age of 60. Then you would have funds more than rupees 3 crore. Okay, so is that going to be a huge amount? Absolutely yes. But what is written? However, if you start at the age of 40 with the same amount, same interest rate, the fund accumulated will be only near 50 lakhs. So there are 2 important points here. Which are the 2 important points? Number 1, start early. And number 2, don't withdraw in between. Because the moment you withdraw the gains, you are going to go back to simple interest. If you reinvest, you will be compounding it over and over again. Is this okay? So the point that we were making for SIP, 5,000 every month, 5,000 every month. Will you get some returns on that? Yes, but don't withdraw. Again reinvest. That will give you the benefit of compounding. Okay, so that can be one more reason why you can invest in the stock market. Third, why can you invest in stock market? To meet your financial goals. Here is the concept of FD versus stock market, which I said personal finance also we'll discuss a little bit, not much, but a little bit. How many of you have not invested even 1 rupee in fixed deposit? Not even 1 rupee in fixed deposit. Okay, those who are in the teenage, you can lower your hands. How many of you have not invested in FD? One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Currently not invested. Otherwise you invest. Okay. Now you have stopped. Where do you invest? Stock market or mutual funds. Okay. Same old story? Same. I missed your first name, sorry. Being a banker. Oh. But other bankers call us and say, FD rates are very nice, invest in our bank. So banker madam knows what is the scenario with FD rates, so she's not investing. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, please. 5 lakh rupees. Yeah, earlier it was 1 lakh. DICGC. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? We have 3-4 reasons. NPS and PPF. Instead of FDs, you have parked it to NPS and PPF. For the tax reasons. Easily you shifted from FD to mutual fund. Still there. That is important. So mutual funds rather than FD. The loan wala max gain na. Loan wala max gain. But it's okay. My God. My legs are trembling right now. Huh. I swear I need water right now. I think we I think we need to shift to personal finance first and then to basics of stock market. That's why we're doing it simultaneously at least. That is the only reason. Okay. Huh. You saved on one more sip of water for me. So if I were to cut you for a minute, I think what you said in just 2-3 sentences is very important. Okay. I lost on my breath. FDs are not for returns. FDs are not for returns. FDs are for safety. FDs are for liquidity. Okay? Wait, we're going to discuss everything. She said that, but if the bank itself goes from TMC, a PMC case was there. Don't put your hard-earned money in banks which you yourself are not sure. Many people have this strategy, I'll invest in some cooperative bank, why it is giving me 1% higher. FD is not for getting 1% higher returns. If you want higher returns, we have loads of options, like stock market and mutual funds. FDs are must for 3 reasons. Safety, liquidity, and meeting your short-term requirements. Okay? So for example, if someone is not investing in an FD and putting 100% in mutual funds, correct? Something like a crash like Corona, and you have to pay a big fees, your child school fees, and assume that fellow studies in an IB, something like that, 1 lakh rupees per year. Can you tell your child, at the market khalti na? From next year, we'll start earning. Right now, not allowed. We can't do that, right? Or maybe your son is getting married. Ek varsha tham bhai sir, wait for 1 year. There can be multiple emergencies if this happens. Okay, so please understand, when we are talking about short-term requirements, stock markets are the worst place to invest. If you are wanting to meet your short-term requirement, mutual funds still not good. Can anyone guarantee me here who is sitting here that after 1 month, my portfolio will be mandatorily 2% higher, 1% higher, and 8% ऊपर जाएगा? Anyone can guarantee here? No one. So short-term के लिए stock market, mutual funds are not the place. So again, I'm talking about commoners, okay? When we are talking about ultra-rich people, they'll have fund managers, they'll take maybe personalization, they'll have crores of rupees in their saving account also maybe. We are talking about people like you and me, okay? Where we have to ensure that for my short-term needs, I have some investment which can be liquidated whenever I want. And in such a situation, are you going to choose all the nationalized bank, big private sector banks or cooperative banks? Ideally, nationalized banks, big private sector banks. I don't have a personal grudge against any cooperative bank, but understand the logic. You're putting your hard-earned money at risk for just extra 1%. Have I made these mistakes in the beginning? Yes. We had FDs in almost all cooperative banks in Pune. In fact, when me and my husband used to go out for a ride, we used to say, Naveen Bank will be new bank. So his favorite Saturday work, because 5 days working, he was working with an MNC. What was his favorite time pass on Saturday? Explore various cooperative banks who can give us 1% higher interest, 1.5. We both in spite of being chartered accountants, no one taught this. This was nowhere in the syllabus, no one taught this to us. We have learned it the hard way. So FDs have to be a part of your portfolio. Anyone, koi bhi bole do that stock market, please don't follow. Even if any YouTuber says that, don't follow. I'm not against that person, I don't even know whose video have you seen. But you only tell me if you are doing an FD in something like an SBI. Do you think that डूब जाएगा? No. Is this very clear in your mind? First things first, those who don't have an FD, please ensure that at least 6 months to 1 year, whatever expenses you're going to incur, at least that much amount has to be there in FDs. So assume my 1 year expense is, let us say, 10 lakhs. Full family, everything, 10 lakhs. I have to ensure I have an FD of 10 lakhs. This amount can vary from person to person. Is this clear? Yes. So to meet your financial goals, big question, is your financial goal a short term or a medium term or a long term? That is a big question, right? If it's a short term or even to some extent medium term. So short term, typically, we classify this as less than 1 year. Medium term, somewhere between 1 to 3 years. See, there is no legal definition, okay? This is a generally understood practice. And long term, more than 3 years. Equity is good for long term. So fund that you're not going to need for next 3 years, minimum, that can go in stock market. Is this very clear in your mind? Yes? So just going one step ahead and understanding, again, back to the old question, why starting early makes sense? Because we do have people in the teenage as well. So you can imagine that we have 4 different persons, A, B, C, D. I think we have all these in our classroom. Somewhere in the teenage, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. Okay, now from 17 years to 68 years, we'll surely have one person in this category. Assume all these people want to have a corpus of, they want an amount of 50 lakhs. When at the age of 60 years. Okay, so if you want to write down a one-liner just above the table, what is the target amount? Target amount is 50 lakhs. We want 50 lakhs. At what age? Target age 60. At the end of 60 years, I want 50 lakhs rupees with me. Okay, is it a long-term requirement or a short-term or a medium-term? Long-term, even if I'm talking about the highest age group, 45. Still it will be long-term. It's a 15 years tenure, right? ROI, return on investment. Return on investment. How much have I taken? 12%. Possible with mutual funds? I showed you, index funds. Possible with index funds. 12% returns. Now, if a person who is at the age of 45, if he or she were to start that, how much monthly investment will be required? 24,000 rupees ka monthly investment will be required. Same target, how much? 50 lakhs. Same target age, how much? 60. But the person starts investing at 35. How much monthly investment is required? 11,000 something. Again, same amount, same target retirement age, but started investment at the age of 25. How much monthly investment is required? 6,000 something. And same amount and same target age, started investing at 15. How much monthly investment is required? Barely 3,500. So that is why we say earlier you start, easier you are going to achieve your long-term goal. Less stress and with lesser amount. See, maybe when you are at the age of 15, maybe you don't have that much, you don't have an income source. So that it would be the responsibility of your parents at that time maybe to start investing. And I don't think people, generally 3,000 rupees is going to be like a huge task for parents to invest in the name of the kids. Only for first 3, 4, 5 years till your kid starts earning. Once the kid starts earning, now you can imagine. So I'll take my classic example. I started investing from a long-term perspective. So is this something like a retirement fund? We are wanting this money at the age of 60, right? So I got my very first salary when I was 21 years of age. First time chartered accountant, and I started earning. At that time, I started investing almost 4,000 rupees for my retirement. My salary was 20,000 rupees. Out of 20,000, investing 4,000 was a huge task for me. Correct? 20% direct and once I started earning, my parents were like, petrol on your own, mobile phone on your own, घूमना जाना है किसी के साथ. We were batchmates. Okay. So that is on your own. Okay. And हमारे पे उसने हमेशा खर्चा नहीं किया, मैंने भी किया है. So everything on my own. Then saving that 4,000 was a huge task for me, to be very honest. But then you can imagine, at the age of 21, 4,000 was a task. Then going ahead with 25, it was comparatively easy. Because till the age of 25, maybe my salary had shifted to somewhere around 32,000. At the age of 30 was much more easy. Right now? Okay, whatever. But still I have that plan as a memory. Correct? So whenever you're making your retirement planning, earlier you start, higher is the pinch. When? In the beginning. As and how you grow, your salary also grows. And then the pinch is much, much, much lesser. You'll comfortably reach your final goal. So have you understood why starting your investment journey on time is important? Yes? Cool. Chalo. So this is again a next subtopic that we're starting. Till then, any quick questions? 1 or 2 maybe? No? Okay. No. No. What was the last one? FD money can the government block? No. Oh my god, we'll have to check the Constitution of India for that. Because whether a country's prime minister can declare a national emergency, those provisions are there in the Constitution of India. We have faced that once, correct? But in that time, what provisions apply, whether my FDs will be frozen or not, to be honest, I'm not that an expert in Constitution of India as such. Anyone knows about this? No, we are asking about a national emergency kind of a thing. No precedence, okay. Bankruptcy. Oh. Correct. Any other doubt? Yes. भारी प्रश्न है पण. आएगा जगत भर गया. Can the stock market stop in a war situation? It can pause. It can't stop. Pause. In simple words, assume. See, I'll give you a simple example. Okay. God forbid, but if there are any riots in Pune, okay, all these people will nonsense start throwing stones at shops and everything. Okay. What does the shopkeeper do? Shut it down. Is that a pause or is that a stop? It's a pause. Whenever riots stop, shut it up. Resume. Same copy paste logic for stock market. Okay, so we are going to talk about that. There is something known as a circuit breaker. Okay, circuit breaker में markets pause. We are going to discuss the limits, everything. But markets stop forever. That will not happen. Pauses म्हणायचं होतं. मग बरोबर आहे तुझं. हाँ? Russia-Ukraine war. We have a very latest example also. Yes, we are going to come to that. That is market circuit breaker. We have not even talked about that. Okay. But again, same pause. 1 day pause. Correct. Will our stocks also run away from our account? Okay, if you know, okay, then we are talking about a very basic thing, okay? But good question. As per Companies Act, company and the owner of the company are two different people. Even if the owner runs away, company can't run away. Company is very much there. The shares of the company are very much there. I'm sure you might have heard about the unfortunate incidents of CCD owner. Correct? CCD owner, we don't know, committed suicide or something happened, but he was dead, right? Did the shares also? Shares are very much there. Will the share price tank? Share prices can go down, but shares will not be, debited from your account, gone. That will not happen. Okay, so shares are very much there. It can happen that they go down and down and down. Then there is no liquidity. No one is interested in the stock. Okay, then maybe slowly, steadily. I'll tell you worst situation what can happen. Ekdam worst. No one is interested. Nothing is happening. The share can get delisted. Oh, one is listing on the exchange. One is delisting from the exchange. Have any companies delisted till that? Yes. Many companies have delisted till that. Okay, you can Google it out if you want. You'll get a lot of names. Recent delisting. I got your point. Delisted and then relisted, you're saying, right? Possible. It's possible. I'm not denying. But see, these are very basic things. You can easily Google out and get the answer also. But have companies delisted in the past? 100% yes. Okay. Once you delist, can you relist also? Yes. So for example, you can quickly Google out. You'll get all those names. So I hope you got your point. So number 1, even if promoter runs away, your shares will not run away. Number 2, worst case scenario, slowly volume will drop, liquidity will drop, and it can get delisted is the worst thing that can happen. Okay. From You list a company on the exchange. Can the company get delisted from the exchange? Yes. How can an exchange delist? I mean, exchange is banda padla, for example. Exchange closes down. That can be one. Oh, you are saying can exchange say get out? Oh. Achha, so I got your point. I got your point. Can the exchange delist a company? Again, to the best of my knowledge, SEBI will interfere first. SEBI will have to check whether company has really done something wrong or not. Number one. Number two, if company has not done anything wrong, but the company has not even renewed their listing by paying listing fees. So listing fees, and one is like a continuance fee. Okay, if continuance fee is not paid, then again we'll have to read out what is given. Is there any penalty first, interest or something like that, and then delist it. But unless and until generally, if something bad is happening, then SEBI will come in place and then that will be taken care of. त्याचं काय होतं तुम्हाला बकरा शोधायला लागतो कोण घेणार ते See what happened if the shares get delisted, correct, then who is going to buy the shares from you is the big question. See her pain, she's like, oh my god, I've invested 20,000 in that. Okay, then any guest coming to her place, she'll be like, I have very unique shares. Okay, so you'll have to forcibly sell it to someone, otherwise it's like a dead investment. No, investment is very much there. Value is as good as no one is ready to pay. Please understand, why does a listed share have some value? People are ready to pay that much amount. This is an apple. Whatever, I was trying to find something around at least. This is an apple. Are people ready to pay for this apple? Yes. 20 days later, this is a rotten apple. Stock market investment is market risk. Please read out like it goes for mutual funds, same for stock. That is what is stock market, right? Risk of capital loss. DHFL bonds basically. So bonds is again a different story. Okay. Yes. You'll start getting some value for that. People will be ready to pay for that again. Simple. But again, people should be ready to pay for that. How much, what, depends again on demand, supply, financials, so many more things. No, it stays there, but no one is ready to buy, no one is willing to buy. Once it gets, I'll tell you what can be a miracle. Something like a merger or an acquisition. The company is almost about to die, and some big fish eats up that small fish, and you get a revival for your investment. Okay, that is what can happen. Materialized share, physical share, and if it gets delisted, no. To another topic. If it gets delisted, then what? If you have materialized shares, paper format shares, okay. Nowadays, I mean, recently there was a notification which came up that you have to mandatorily get your shares converted into the electronic format, and there was a deadline also given. I'm not sure exactly what was the deadline. Last year or something like that only. So anyone who has those shares now, you cannot sell in a physical format. It has to be firstly converted into dematerialized format, then only sell. Yes, we can't do it. Broker can do it. Next, okay, Yes, you'll be exchanged. So your old next shares will be as good as cancelled, and in lieu of that, in exchange of that, you'll be issued fresh shares. And in such a scenario, a ratio is decided. This much shares for every this much shares held. You'll get it. Off market transfer. Off market transfer is possible. Possible. So you're saying, what if the broker itself goes bust?